you kind of mentioned this earlier on, you know, fresh off a second place finish at the third offline major, the one that was in Brazil, defeating Nicholas, one of the Chilean twins, didn't manage to defeat Scorpion Prox, who ultimately went on to win the entire thing, but played incredibly well to get that second place result. Now, Ultimate MK3 Scorpion, of all the ninjas that have these skins, like, for me, it's the Scorpion one I think I like the most. There's just something so right about it.
Well, especially standing next to Chameleon, which really isn't a surprise, especially now, again, we are playing on the most up-to-date patch where Striker did get that kind of grenade cooldown nerf. It just takes longer to bring those grenades back now. However, Chameleon was already looking like maybe a stronger option for Scorpion in certain matchups. And one of them that Javier was using, even in Brazil, was against Johnny Cage. Now, Kanimani, you said before, right, really likes those really aggressive, in-your-face characters who just get up close and stay there. Johnny Cage Lau very much is still that kind of team. Now, of course, Scorpion Chameleon just gives Scorpion extra things that he's usually kind of missing, right? We've seen a lot of Scorpion from Javier. He typically plays a very hit-and-run, slowed-down style, and Chameleon just helps that in a number of ways, right? Just for extensions to damage, more confirms, that good projectile and neutral, just all the usual Chameleon stuff. Of course, Scorpion is going to benefit, but we didn't see much of it there as Kanimani with quite the start. Already taken that first round. I mean, this is kind of what we expect to see. These are two players who have a significant amount of leaderboard points. I'd say Javier is probably sitting the safest on the leaderboard right now due to his offline successes, but, you know, the better they can place, the less work they do for themselves, or the less work they have left to do in the long run. Oh, wow.
The one big thing about this matchup is I actually spoke to Javier rather extensively, you know, when I was in Brazil. He really does not like the Johnny Cage matchup for Scorpion. It's actually the kind of matchup that he doesn't even use Striker for anyway these days. Like, this was a matchup that would say, right, I'm picking Chameleon for this, just because of the extra range and the fact that you're not really building your whole thing around death spin or armor or whatever into Striker grenades where Johnny Cage can just shadow kick through the whole thing. Like, the different kind of style.
Oh my goodness.
Chameleon, yeah. I mean, I've seen this so much. I mean, God, I've bumped into him enough times in Combat League. This Chameleon is just ridiculous.
God,
a man knows how to hit hard, let me tell you. We're punished!
Every single drop of damage there is to be squeezed out of this team.
Acknowledging.
And again, another one. Oh, missed the jump kick this time.
That would have been rather horrible damage. And by horrible, I mean horrible to take. It would have been a lot of damage. Melina, ready. But we're probably not going to have a chance. In the neutral, though, changing over to... Yeah,
that's it.
Changing over to Chameleon with the Jade, like, that was actually best case scenario. Like, when you're at that range, for the most part, especially against Cage, like, Melina's not going to give Scorpion what he wants. You want that glaive. So, actually looked a little bit like perhaps he even... manually swapped to the different disguise. I don't think it was up for it.
I'm not gonna lie, I find it really hard to keep up with, like, that's how you know these players play at that highest level, because especially when you've got someone who's got a lot of time into the Chameleon cameo. This is a cameo that rotates between 3 significantly different styles after a matter of seconds. Yes, you can manually change between, you know, by doing various things with the attacks, but it's hard enough to keep up when you're watching it, let alone playing it or defending against it. Of course, we're seeing this change to Raiden, which is, I would say, the more common Kanimani character these days. So definitely, you know, not a huge surprise of a change here. But I just love to see what Javier is getting out of this Chameleon, right? So much neutral control, that projectile, the full combo off, the tracking low hellfire. It's just, it really just... These things that Scorpion normally lacks significantly, suddenly he doesn't now. And we're seeing Javier, who is a true Scorpion specialist, really thrive with it. Okay, we've got the armor up. Can take a bit more risks now with that reduced damage. Or actually, if anything else, just looking to swap forms, perhaps. Oh,
now, this is...
Yeah. It's Kano! That's starting to it reached!
This is a matchup that Javier has played time and time again. Not just because of the, you know, the amount of times he's clearly fought against Kanimani, but even in Brazil, massive result for him was defeating one of the Chilean twins. It was Nicholas to secure grand finals, you know, to prevent a twins grand final. It was this exact same matchup that Javier was able to conquer. However, Kanimani, even Sonic Fox has said that they believe that Kanimani, when they last fought, was, you know, possibly the best Raiden Kano that exists in the game right now. I mean, that's the level of pedigree. There's the breaker. Punish. What? Javier hesitated on the punish and ate a down 2. That statistically should not happen, but Javier was not fast enough.
But Kanimani was absolutely ready. Oh, huge low here in the corner. Meterless pick up to Kanimani with the awareness. That is not a bad amount of damage to get with no bar in the corner, I'll tell you what.
I mean, we're about to get another Kano. There was the flawless block. Acknowledges, though, that Kano was far too close. Even if Javier wanted to get a down one there, it just was unlikely. Kano's right in your face. He's going to hit you.
Oh, now you are going to have to be very careful going for too many of those Hellfires against someone like Raiden, though, right? I'm imagining that's a full screen punish with the electric fly, but the reward for it, so huge if it does work out.
Again, too slow on the punish. Even if he got the punish, though, the Kano knives were going to cover that.
Yeah. I think that's the only situation you'll see someone hesitate, especially a player of the caliber of Javier, is if they know that, well, I can punish the teleport, but have you called a Kano or have you not? Right? It's so difficult. Those little decisions in the meantime. Nice armor option. Huge. Again, those wake-up neutral jumps are just paying off huge for Javier in this set already. Look at the damage he's going to get for this.
It's two different benefits. You know, we're going to get big damage from this situation. We're also going to make sure that we have a fully recharged Chameleon. The next disguise should, by all means, be Jade, if I'm not mistaken. And now, with the Jade. Oh, went in for the different one. If that was Kano knives, I reckon the 2-1 would have caught. But because it was Kano ball, there was no safety to be had. That was actually really smart. You know, two different reasons. The first, Kano was unlikely to get hit by the standing 2 punish because it's a different startup time. The second is that if there wasn't a 2-1 coming, I mean, it's a mid rather than a high.
I mean, it's just
there was
classic
no
Adaptation 101. Round 1, he did something and lost for it. And then the final round, he changed it up and then won. That's what you got to do. Now, I can't imagine we'll be seeing any swaps from Javier. I mean, obviously, so. Scorpion, I would be surprised if we saw him play anything that isn't Scorpion in tournament, period. But, like, especially if we're talking cameos right now, Javier seems to really hyper focus on whatever cameo he thinks is Scorpion's best and pretty much play that whenever possible, which right now I'm fairly sure is going to be Chameleon for Scorpion. Oh, there it is again, the knives, but too far back this time.
Yeah, at that range, it looks like you're not going to be safe regardless. Chameleon.
I will say Javier playing a lot more aggressive in this match. I feel like he definitely has a reputation as much more of like a slower player right now, you know, willing to play.
Oh, that's still punished!
That was huge. Yeah, that was huge.
I cannot believe that's still punished. Normally, your direct answer is to uppercut that, but I guess from the, you know, you must just have to time it correctly. Something that I'm sure Kanimani has dealt with a million times over, right? I mean, you fight Raiden, Kano, you see teleport, you tend to uppercut punish it. It's just what you do. But if you can time it so you punish them for doing it, that changes the whole matchup.
No, absolutely. Oh, Javier. Oh, okay, this time gets the right time in the standing 1, but again, paying respect to that Kano knife that is definitely going to be following when it's ready. There's the safety again. Okay, that's actually not terrible for Javier to get hit by that. Normally, you can see Raiden players, when the Kano ball comes out and they take the hit, you can teleport to chase it down, but if the Raiden player doesn't do it, it does get you out of that pressure game. Oh, huge hit, but the break is ready for Javier.
Oh, he gets the pickup.
Oh my goodness.
That was a really impressive pickup. I feel like that was just a matter of frames from dropping. That must have been right as the end of the move was coming out there, but able to get himself that first round here, Mustard. Again, I mean, they take a trade. It's not the end of the world. A bit more damage.
Oh my goodness, that was definitely a commitment from Javier, right? That didn't look confirmed to me. Did he just know it was going to hit? Did he see Kanimani whiff something?
You can sometimes just, you know, have a feeling like from that distance, like because he moves so far forward, there is an instance where you kind of expect them to maybe try and whiff punish, even like right there. Like if they try and stick out a button, that is the only range that 2-1 will actually hit them. So there are some minute situations that you can just dedicate. It's still a bit of a risk, but you know.
This is a great position for Javier. 100%.
Yeah, he's just defensive. Very defensive.
But now, oh, tries to down 2. That down 2 actually would have just won the game if it hit, but Kanimani covering it with a knife, even a jump forward.
Down back 3. Meaty Kano ball. Lovely grab as well. A smart throw out of the corner because it is, you know, less likely we're going to see a throw tech from that direction. Big micro duck. You can break though. Waits for the fatal blow. Lets it be on cooldown. And now
Javier definitely waited for the fatal blow just to make sure that it's gone for the next 10 and still gets the down 2. I love that from Javier. You know, Javier, like that, I don't want to say mistimed down 2 because it was timed right to anti-air the jump, but it lost to the knives that came forward. In that instance, he saw the knives had already missed, so now the down 2 works out. So well played from Javier to stick to his guns there. But like I was saying earlier on in that match, I feel like this is a much more aggressive match that Javier is playing. I know he definitely has earned a reputation gameplay-wise as being a very slow player, right? He's willing to slow the game down, that hit and run style with, you know, emphasis on the run, because that's how he has to play a lot of matchups with this character, right? Scorpion, he can't commit to the mid without taking a huge risk a lot of the time. His standing 2 goes really fast. Spear, such a good projectile and whiff punishing tool. His back movement's so good. There are a million reasons why Scorpion can play that way and needs to in a lot of matchups. But this set is completely different. He's slowing it down when he's got a huge life lead to sit on, but when he's looking to obtain that life lead, he's taking some big risks, a lot of jumps, a lot of use of that katana lift. And we're seeing it pay off. That is the adaptation that you talked about in the previous game, though, is that Kanimani can look to see that Kano Ball is hit and will then just simply do a teleport to keep Oki. And you know, you're not always going to have to do that, but when your opponent isn't afraid to take the Kano Ball, that's kind of where you have to add that to the list of stuff that you do. Grab combo. Free damage because it is fan lift, fast cooldown. Damn, he'd already hit near enough 200 before the spear even connected. That's actually crazy good for a throw combo. That'll be the round, though. Kanimani, nice and aggressive. I mean, nothing in particular that's really sort of taken anyone by surprise from Kanimani. It's just that everything is brutally efficient. He plays the character just shy of perfectly, even down to these confirms. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that was pretty good.
Perfect demonstration. All right, there's the respect. Waits for it to come back. Fan toss probably wasn't exactly what Javier wanted. Might have tried to squeeze out one more glaive. That's one of those situations where it's like, it doesn't really matter if the stance changes. And again, huge neutral jump. And it's always a neutral jump kick too. Like, he knows that's his best option at countering those standing buttons after it. And like 360 for it. That damage is not bad at all. Yo, the thing is, Scorpion's jump kick, low key, that move is cheap. I think it's like top 3 jump kicks. It might even be the best next to Johnny Cage, who has probably the best one in my opinion. But wow, okay, match point Javier. Been playing this matchup phenomenally well. There it is. We'll take that trade all day. Big jump. Whiff on it! Massive whiff that Javier is able to capitalize off. Right, Javier, so many of these jumps are right on the money. Not even just down to the timing, but like the direction. He's always just getting the right decision. And looking really good here. Gets that breaker from Kanimani. With so much bar left to go, this is a commanding position for Javier to be in right now. Kano just got sniped. Very little damage, though. Going for the corner carry. Optimal situation when damage isn't a factor. Oh, gets that breaker out of Javier. Now we're down to more of an even playing field. That was a risky forward 3-2 as well. There was no Chameleon to make it safe, so Kanimani just erring on the side of caution for that one. Still no bar for Kanimani, though, so he's kind of having a hard time building that. Oh, but there's Kano. That will open up enough. Is that enough damage, however? The second knife, is that... Oh, my goodness, the optimal from Kanimani. No bar, doesn't matter. Kano's there. Just enough damage. That was clean. Just really, really, really efficient. And, of course, we're going into a final game between these two. But Javier, still life in that Scorpion. You know, you talk about playstyles before. What I find interesting about Javier, I've watched him in 3 games. You know, I've watched him in MKX when he was really sort of just dipping his toes into the whole world of competitive. MK11, where many of us saw him for the first time. And, of course, this, which has been his most successful currently. I wouldn't say Javier has much of a playstyle. His playstyle is Scorpion. It's built around what Scorpion does the best. If Scorpion's rushdown god, that's his playstyle in that game. If it's a game like this where he has to be a lot more neutral focused, that is a very, very different story. You know, we got a term for that in fighting games as a character specialist. There's not as many around these days, but when you see someone of this caliber, it is a treat. However, Kanimani, much stronger start this time. Let it go. Uh-oh. Rush down, rush down, rush down. Uh-oh. We're just mixing it up. Back 2, forward 4. Chip damage with the Kano just to keep us... I mean, look, you've seen this before. Kanimani's just not going to stop. Wake up, ball roll. Get the hell off me. Had enough of it. Invincibility, too, so Javier's low life. Like, if you armor in that situation, you have to be careful because you still take the damage. But if it's one of those invincible cameo wake-ups, and a rare enough invincible cameo wake-up that launches, not many of those left in the game. Oh, there it is.
And who cares about
so
Kano?
smart. That was so smart. Doing just the standing one into Fatal Blow, knowing that he could absorb the Kano and do the damage.
However,
decent spot after.
brave though, because he has not much health left. There is almost 2 Kanos.
If it were
He can't really afford to block. Oh, Kano! It's Kano again!
He landed on the knives, like one for each base of his foot.
Oosh.
Unfortunate to lose the Fatal Blow, though.
No.
Definitely going to make the rest of this game a bit harder.
Mustard, Kanimani timing the knife into teleport, where if you uppercut, that's actually all part of the plan. I have never seen a Raiden do this before. I've seen so much Raiden. I've never seen anyone time it so that if you uppercut, he's got Kano just in time to get a combo regardless.
Unfortunate drop.
That's so good. Oh,
That was so good as well.
all
Javier
4
is so
characters
ready.
on the screen at once. Oh, no.
That could be a problem. Yeah, no resources, but still has to break this Javier.
Thing is, I'm not sure about that break because it was only an electric fly and you're in the corner anyway. Actually, that's not good. Mustard, it's not good.
No, didn't have Kano. Has to flick. No, couldn't get the flawless block. I was about to say, had to get the flawless block. Couldn't do it. And Kanimani with the pop-off at finish him. Going down game 5 at least, but is it just me or was that quite a short game 5? That was an aggressive set.
It was all Kanimani. That's what it was. It was pure just